Hello, Divine Ones, and welcome to this week of Embodied Divinity, where we are going to talk about having compassion for the darker side of human experiences, how we get to be in this world, but not of this world, and how the reflections and projections that we see around us are a beautiful and sacred mirror for the deep internal work that we get to embark upon. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Let's start with taking a big, deep breath in through your nose, really letting your belly inflate, and out through your mouth, setting an intention to be here now, present with whatever arises, open and ready for whatever messages and insights are here for you today. I was inspired to do today's episode because on Wednesday you're going to be hearing from a guest speaker who works in the shadows. Her divine calling is deep, intense, shadowy work and some of the hardest, darkest human experiences known to mankind. And it's by being a light, by shining a light on these experiences that we get to collectively heal humanity, but also the deeper aspects within us. I find that when we are scared of the darkness, when we run away from things that feel uncomfortable, when we let resistance control us, we oftentimes don't have the capacity to hold immense love and light and joy. Our capacity to hold pain, our capacity to hold suffering, our capacity to walk in the darkness, to drown in the darkness, is equivalent to our capacity for pleasure, for receiving, for love, for light. We need both, like the symbol of the yin and the yang. There is a deep, beautiful light and a deep, penetrating darkness. And there's a bit of the darkness within that light and a bit of the light within that darkness. And as they swim together in perfect harmony, they are whole. And so it is with this human experience. We are humans we are spirits having a human experience. We are both human and spirit here on this earth. We are here in this human experience to evolve our consciousness, to deepen our capacity as souls, as source consciousness, to understand, to conceptualize, to hold space for every sensation and every part of this journey. I have a client right now who is so deeply scared of his own pain, so scared of branching out of all the things he holds near and dear, of the programming that he has constantly been enmeshed in. He is so scared to make this transition into a new way of being that he's sabotaging himself in every direction. And a lot of our sessions are simply me holding space for him to let out that angst and anger and fear. And I know that the more he does this, the more that he becomes comfortable with these deeper, more uncomfortable emotions, the more we'll get to make way for the light and the magic and miracles to come in. But as humans, we often cling to these perceptions of who we have been, these experiences that maybe molded us in a certain way, or even other people's ideas of us, and we cling and we cling. And it is in our clinging to the familiar and the comfortable that we create our own suffering. It's when we can follow that deep call within our heart and soul that we can be really brave and act from our inspiration, from our passion, from our desire, simultaneously in alignment, grounded, sure, steady, at peace, that we create massive change. It's from that opening and that direct communication, that authentic communication, that we create change. When we get away from all of the niceties, from the politeness or the correctness, and we simply follow our heart, we share our truth, we open to new experiences, that's when we fully come alive. Actually, a couple weeks ago, before recording this episode, I had a beautiful movie night with my friend, and we made homemade pizzas, and we just had a girls' night, and we sat down and we watched Poor Things, the new movie with Emma Stone. And I mean, I've been thinking of this movie since I watched it. It's rare that I feel this much emotion around a movie, but it was the first time I've ever truly felt seen and understood in all of me. The way she is so free and uninhibited, that she knows no other way than to be her true authentic self, regardless of how others respond to her. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you watching it from the perspective of, this is how we were meant to be before we put on all the masks and labels and judgments, before society told us who and how to be. I get the same feeling when I watch Love on the Spectrum, of just this free, uninhibited, unfiltered conversation, just this really raw, authentic style of being in communication. This is the authentic way of the human before we've put all these masks on us, before we became afraid to be ourselves, before we put so much weight into how other people might perceive us. And I find we do the same thing when it comes to the darker parts of the world. A lot of people put their head in the sand, or they want to ignore it. They don't want to speak. I mean, right now we're experiencing a massive war. There's a massive genocide going on the same earth that we all inhabit, yet very few people will talk about it, will pay attention to it, will invest financially, spiritually, energetic into creating a solution for this problem, because they don't want to dip their toes into something of that frequency or energy. This is what we're here to do. We're here to get messy, and it's in owning that who and how you are is a choice that you make daily, and it's not about your external circumstances. So if you stand anchored into the light and the truth and love, then you can walk into that darkness, and you are a beacon, a radiating beacon of light, and you have nothing to be afraid of. In fact, when you are anchored into the light as you walk through darkness, not only do you shine light on it, creating even more shadows and even more knowings, but you create an amazing alchemy. You can create so much good from the dark, from the fear, from the scary things. You can learn so much if you just dare to go swimming in it, to dip your toes in it. If you stop blinding your eye and turning away from the violence that's present on earth, from the pain and suffering that's present on earth, you don't have to be in it. You don't have to be a part of it. You can know that you are this radiating high vibrational frequency of love, and you also see and witness these atrocities, and you get to do something to create change, whether it's a prayer, whether it's volunteering your time, whether it's a warm hug. I personally dip my toes in by volunteering in prisons and women's shelters and domestic violence homes. I sit down with troubled youth in detention centers and create meditation circles, because I know who I am, that my frequency can't get rattled by the external. So I can happily walk in to these prisons, and I can sit with these men and these women, and I can talk about my experiences on earth, and I can talk about source, and I can talk about light, and I can talk about meditation, and I can talk about taking one day at a time and forgiveness. And my light shines on to them, and they feel that sparkle of hope and potential and possibility. And that ripples out into their existence and reality, and that changes the collective. It doesn't tarnish my frequency to walk into these maybe lower energetic places. What I'm doing is I'm creating human connection. I'm walking forward in compassion, in a knowing that each soul that I make a positive impact on, I'm actually making a positive impact on myself, because each man and woman in those prisons, each child in the detention center, each woman fleeing a domestic violence situation, they are me. Every homeless person I sit down and speak to, that I help get a warm meal or some new socks, I am helping and uplifting myself, because we, in the end, we are one. Everything I do from my frequency, from my way of being, I raise the vibration of the collective conscious. Now, if I walk away, if I hide my eyes, if I say, I choose not to see the violence of this world, I choose not to see the darkness of this world, then I'm, number one, lying to myself, but I'm also abandoning all those pieces and parts of me that are present in each and every other being on this earth. And I'm walking away from my calling to serve humanity and the collective consciousness. We are here to create the new earth. It's not something that's simply going to happen for us. We create it in our way of being. We create it by standing in our truth and in our power and in our light, and shining that light on the darkness, of bringing the darkness into us and alchemizing it. It's not something to be afraid of. It's not something to run from. It's something to fully embrace, to walk into, to dance with. We are here to serve the world, and as we serve the world, we serve ourselves, and as we serve ourselves, we serve the world. When we see the beauty in the eyes of each and every person, regardless of their role in society, regardless of their circumstances, regardless of the choices they make, when we just see the love and divinity present within them, knowing that just like we did, they came here with a soul contract, choosing the circumstances, the timelines, the events that took place so that they could evolve source consciousness too. It's only when we label things good or bad or uncomfortable or pleasurable or desirable or undesirable or dark or light that we actually bring shame and judgment to those parts of ourselves. Each and every experience is simply that, an experience. Each and every sensation is simply that, a sensation. Each and every human is simply that, a human, and each and every being we see is simply that, a divine soul here having this human experience. When we can zoom out and see the bigger picture, when we can zoom out and see the light and divinity in each and every being on this earth, regardless of anything else, we sink into the frequency of pure and unconditional love. We sink into the frequency of truth, and we create massive change within ourselves and the world. So today I'm asking you to look right into the darkness, to walk right through it, to anchor so deeply into your light, into your truth, into your authenticity, that these things need not scare you. That uncomfortability can simply be that, a new sensation. That you can get so comfortable with being uncomfortable that you experience true freedom in each situation. That speaking your voice, even when your legs shake, becomes the new normal. That you no longer alter who you are or how you show up because you're afraid of how you will be perceived. because you no longer let your perception of anything in this world tarnish the light and the truth of your soul. You can simply be here now with what is, open to it all, in gratitude for it all, embracing both the light and the dark, seeing it all with the same level of love and humanity. No judgments, no condemning or condoning, simply being with what is. And Divine One, as you do this work, you're going to open up worlds within you you never knew existed. And it's my honor to be here with you today. And if you desire guidance as you deepen into this, I highly encourage you to sign up for the waitlist for my Embodied Divinity mentorship, a 6-month program where we look at all of these things from root to crown, piece by piece, moving through your unique energetic blueprint and allowing you to show up in the fullest of your potential, to anchor into your light and your divinity, and to walk in both the pleasure and the pain, the light and the dark, every aspect of this world in full power and purpose. I love you guys. Look forward to hearing from our guest speaker on Wednesday about her journey through the darker parts of humanity, and a guided global meditation on Friday to bring deeper healing to all of humanity in the world. Thank you guys for being here. As always, breathe deep and plan on miracles.